From the Howard E. Mills Auditorium at WTKR Studios in downtown Norfolk, it's Coast Comedy Live. On tonight's show, Shannon Parker and Quincy Carr. Now, give it up for your host, Chandler Nunnally.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coast Comedy Live. I'm Chandler Nunnally. Woo! Tonight and for the next 6 weeks, we'll be showcasing some top-notch stand-up comedy from some of the very best comics right here in Hampton Roads. And guys, I gotta be honest, we are so excited to be able to bring you a show like this complete with a live studio audience. The room that we're in right here, the Howard E. Mills Auditorium, has been a part of this building since it was first built back in 1949. And over the decades, it's been home from everything from mattress commercials to even, and this is very exciting, extra space for cubicles. Yeah. For a long time, about 15 years. And in the 1990s, it was restored and renamed in honor of a historic production manager here at WTKR who represented just the absolute best in classic television. And guys, that's a tradition that we are hoping to revive here tonight. And thank you all so much for joining us. This is gonna be so awesome. Thank you so much. All right, now before we get started, guys, I gotta pay the bills a little bit. Special thank you to our sponsor, Toy Meister Toys and Games in Virginia Beach. Those of you in the audience who know me know that I'm a huge nerd with an action figure collection. That's true, and if I'm being honest, it's pretty impressive. Yeah. And Toy Meister Toys and Collectibles, they have stuff for all ages, okay? Adults and kids, I promise, all ages. I didn't say it, they told me to say it. Plus, they have the largest toy selection on the East Coast, and this is a fun fact, they're also the #1 source of things for me and my girlfriend to have arguments about. Keeps saying it's not in the budget. I'm like, yes, it is. It's fine. Huge thanks to Toy Meister for helping us make Coast Comedy Live a reality. I am so excited, guys. And hey, speaking of comedy, you guys ready to bring out our first comic? All right, sounds good to me too. First up tonight, she received the top number of votes 5 times at Quincy Carr's Quality Comedy Series from Richmond, Virginia. Put your hands together for Shannon Parker.
Thank you. Hey, how are you? Good. Thank y'all for coming out. I gotta be real honest with you though, I'm not in a real joking and playing mood today. I got robbed last Friday. Yeah, it's the same thing I said. I had just got paid, right? And they took my entire check from me, right? I knew who it was, but it happened so quick, I still called the cops. They said, well, did you get a description? I was like, yep. Cox Cable and Dominion Power. They took my whole check from me, okay? And then Dominion Power wanted to cut me off for the last $4,000 I owed them. I said, well, you got a majority of the money. Can't you just dim them and just turn them down a little bit? It's daylight savings time. I really don't need them on until about 8 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? And see, Cox Cable, they give you an option. Which room do you want to watch TV in? Whatever box you pay for. I'm like, Dominion, y'all don't have nothing like that? Like an a la carte? You know, like... Leave the kitchen on, you know, the AC, you know. Gosh, I'm telling you. Stuff out here during inflation. I went down to one of the tax services, Liberty Tax, y'all familiar with that? Yeah. Went down there to get me a part-time job, you know. Not doing taxes, but being one of the dancing statues. Yeah, I figured I could do some cardio between, 5 and 9 at night, give me some extra time in, right? It was real simple. All you had to do was go down there and do the application, dance for 8 hours with no music, and then pass the drug test. Well, guess what, y'all? Come on in here. I couldn't pass the drug test. And it's not because I'm on drugs, it's because they're looking for people on drugs to do that job. Okay? I'm serious. Seriously. I mean, they're looking for somebody that can dance outside in 130-degree heat with no music, So I went home, I told my uncle, I said, Dad, they're actually looking for people on drugs to do that job. I ride by there 2 weeks later, I see him out there doing the job. So my cousin was riding with me. She said, it looks like my uncle's back doing drugs. I said, don't look like he's doing drugs. It looks like the drugs doing him. I said, because Liberty Tax Service is on the next block. He down here dancing, you know? Seriously. I'll tell you, I just recently started working out with a personal trainer. Oh, y'all can clap for that. I know it don't look like much. I sent in a video. You got to see it with no clothes on. I don't know if they're going to put it up or not, but I know it don't look like much. But so far, since I've been working out with her, I've lost somewhere probably around maybe like 17, maybe closer to $1,800. Yeah, somewhere around about that, maybe 19. Because I love to cook and eat, you know, I'm going to be honest with you, you know. I went into the gym, state of the art, aquatic center, cardio center, weight room. I walked in, I ended up at the exit. And they were like, you don't see anything you want to get on? I was like, not a goddamn thing, nothing. I don't see nothing in here I want to ride, okay? I was like, you're asking me that like this is King's Dominion or Busch Gardens or something. I don't see nothing in here I like, you know? How many of y'all still working from home? Couple people? Yeah, I like working from home. I think it's good. I'm at work right now. I keep a patient during the daytime. She's out there in the parking lot. You know, I left her in the AC, you know. You know how some people say this or that? I'm gonna get this and that. Like, you sit out there. I'm just gonna go in here and do a quick 10 minutes. I'll be right back, you know. Seriously. It's not that I mind people working from home. I just want people to just do some work from home customer service classes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I called the IRS the other day, right? I had to make sure that it took me 72 days to get in contact with him. And then when I got in contact with him, the girl, she was asleep, right? So I just wanted to make sure, because you know the IRS, you can't play with them, so I wanted to make sure if I did X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C would happen, right? So I reiterated everything back to her, and I said, is that correct? And instead of her saying, yes, ma'am, she was like, period. And I was like, no, you definitely need to take some classes. Hey, WTKR, that's my time. It's been great. Y'all follow me on social media.
One more time, Shannon Parker, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, don't go anywhere. We got so much more Coast Comedy Live right after this break. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Still to come on Coast Comedy Live, a performance from comedian Quincy Carr. Coast Comedy Live is sponsored by Toy Meister, largest toy selection on the East Coast.
Wow, welcome back to Coast Comedy Live. We are having an absolutely great time tonight, and our next comic is a Hampton Roads local TV personality and a comedy legend, I might add. You've seen his work on HBO Max, Amazon Prime, and True TV. Around these parts, we call him the Quality Comedy King, but you might also know him by his other name, Quincy Carr.
Hey, how y'all doing? Good. I'm feeling like just as good as I think I'm looking right now. I hate to sound like that, but it's honest. I'm in my mid-40s with my birthday coming up around the corner, so yeah. I'm feeling good. From here up, I feel like I'm looking good. From here up, my back, knees, feet, hips, they don't support me no more. Like they are done. Like my back is like, nah, I don't have your back no more, Quincy. Now you can go on in. I'm done. My knees and feet. Look, would you sit down somewhere? We don't want to hold you up no more. Cause I can't stay out the gym. Like I'm always moving. I'm always, just going all the time, right? You know. And I think it's cause I'm just trying to keep up with my daughter. I'm trying to avoid the dad bod. I'm sorry, fathers out there, you got that dad bod that's going on. I'm trying to avoid the dad bod. But really, I'm just trying to relate to my daughter because I'm not a good dad. Okay, I'll be completely honest. I have not been a good dad. I'm like, is it wrong that I let my daughter play Grand Theft Auto? With the volume up, I let her play it. This girl think it's okay to go to somebody's car, open the door, take them out, and drive off with their vehicle. Like, it's not good. It's not good. Like I know this. Like earlier when she was born, this is when I was really irresponsible. I took her with me. Like I traded my daughter for a test drive of a sports car. Let me explain something. Like my wife, like she was our daughter was about 2 or 3 months old, and I wanted a sports car, right? So I knew my wife wouldn't go for it, so it was on a Saturday. I knew I was going to go look for it. I'd already set up the time to go look for it, and I told my wife, hey, since you've been taking care of our daughter, let me take her with me today. And she's like, oh, you're such a good husband. I'm like, that worked. All right, cool. So we get to the place, and I'm looking at this car. It's a beautiful car. My daughter's in the back seat. She's sleeping. I'm like, oh, man, I want this car. I got to have this car. And the guy's like, hey, take it for a test drive. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I had to be responsible. I'm like, I can't do that. My daughter is in the car. I can't put the car seat in the passenger seat with me. It won't look right. This one I know he was irresponsible. He said, look, I tell you what. You got my baby. Let me have your baby. If you bring my baby back unscratched, you get your baby back unscratched. And I was like, are you kidding me? What makes you think I would bring or take this car and scratch it up? It's a good idea. So I took a test drive on that car and gave him my baby, and we exchanged. But here's the problem. My daughter is now 12, right? She's a preteen. Guess what, parents? I know everything. I know, Dad. I know. I got it. I got it. Seen it before. YouTube, I got it. TikTok, I know. That's all she do, just TikTok the whole time. Just, I know. Here's what she don't know. For the first 5 years, I didn't think she was my kid. That's what she don't know. She looked nothing like me, people. I just want you to understand, she looked nothing like me. This girl was a beautiful child, by the way, but light-skinned. Like, here's the thing. Like, as she got older, she started to look like me after 5, but before 5. Here's the problem. She's like, we both share same skin, like flaws. Like on our same arm, we got a mole on the inside of our leg and everything. This girl, this is what I don't understand. Her mother is light-skinned. I'm brown-skinned. Our daughter is lighter skinned than my wife. She wasn't quite white, but it still wasn't quite right. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so I kind of been there responsible for a long time, but she's helped us get our credit up because I helped her with her math. Some of you know where I'm going. I'm getting ready to get out of here, but one thing that I will say, we're so excited about our new credit score, but because of her, because I helped her with her math and she helped us with our credit score, we now have a new credit score of 783. That's right, 783. Yeah, that's right. It has nothing to do with the fact that we've added all 3 credit scores together to get that one total credit score. This is my new total credit score. People on Quincy Carr, thank y'all so much.
Quincy Carr, the Quality Comedy King. Guys, stick around after this next commercial break. We'll sit down for a chat with both of tonight's comedians. Don't go anywhere. Coast Comedy Live continues after the
break. Coast Comedy Live is sponsored by Toy Meister, largest toy selection on the East Coast.
You guys like that? Welcome back to Coast Comedy Live. Let's please have another round of applause for our comics tonight. They're sitting with me now, Shannon Parker and Quincy Carr. Guys, how you doing over there? It's close quarters. You're very close.
We're good.
Well, you know what? Let me just address this, sir. This whole Jimmy Fallon thing that you got going on, it's crazy.
You like it?
Yeah, man. It's kind of dope, man.
Well, if you say his name again, though, we get charged with copyright infringement.
Ooh. So
Take it out of his check, not mine.
Channing Fallon.
Yeah, I'll take it. That's
Gotcha.
I want to start off by asking you guys, you guys have both been doing comedy for a long time. What's the greatest joy in each of your comedy careers that you've experienced so far?
Quincy, take it.
Quincy.
Okay, well, being able to just, have a platform that people really want like the whole quality comedy platform. I started that in 2010.
Yeah.
And you know, folks said, you know what, people don't want to hear clean comedy, they want to hear regular raw comedy. And I said, well, let's do something different. Let's put it in a place where people don't expect it.
Absolutely.
And you know, it's been what, 20? Well, 20? No, it's been what, 12
years?
12 years? Yeah, I'm getting old.
We'll check the
I'm getting
math
old.
in the commercial.
Embellishment.
Yeah, and Quincy, I got to tip my hat to you, man, because the Quality Comedy Series has been a real staple of local comedy in Hampton Roads. You know, you've been on this stage many times on our show Coast Live to talk about it, and honestly, it was the impetus for this whole thing that we're doing now.
First of all, I graduated from a community college. That's a big word. A what? It
Impetus.
Impetus.
We'll check on the math from earlier and that definition in the commercial break.
It's a big word. Sir, you can't do that to me.
But in all seriousness, man, thank you so much for collaborating with us. You know, Quincy's been a big part of putting this whole show together. And guys, I think we need another round of applause for Quincy. Now, Shannon, I gotta show you some love, man. When you write a joke, do you write it for you, or do you think about like, how is my audience gonna perceive this?
Actually, a lot of my material comes through conversation. I'm a talker.
Really?
Yeah, so a lot of times I'm like having conversation. I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny. Let me write that down. I can build on that. So a lot of it comes from that, and whoever's there, you know, a lot of times I hope that they can connect with it, you know, whatever, but usually it pretty hits.
Who's your test audience? Like when you write a new joke, do you have somebody that you run to right away? My girlfriend is mine, and she's
The mirror.
the mirror.
Yeah.
That's good. So you trust your own sense of humor when you're writing a joke?
Yeah, I do.
What about you, Quincy? What's your process, man?
As far as like, do I write for the audience? Man, look, I could care less. And I'm gonna tell you,
Arrogant.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because right now it's so hard to be a comic these days. So what I've told people is, if you're here to destroy my life, that's on you, because I came here to laugh at yours, right? So meaning we should all just laugh and just enjoy, because that's what comedy is about. But there are some people that's just like, ooh, I'm gonna take it seriously. I think that affected me. And for comics like us, we don't have time to worry about that, because we're dealing with mental issues ourselves, and this is our home. This is our home to be able to get off what we need to get off.
You know, you just mentioned the mental health issues, man, and that is so true, I think, for anybody that's in showbiz. You know, Shannon, I'm interested, when you started getting into comedy, did you face like judgment from your family, the people close to you in your life? Were you scared about what they'd think about it?
No, I didn't. Actually, I got me a gig at a comedy club. I invited them all down. They thought we were just going, and I pop out on stage, and everybody's like, what is going on with this girl? You know, so it's like, you know, and then from there, it just kind of, it's fun.
Good for you, man. Yeah, Quincy, you were talking about your daughter. Does she think that you're famous? I mean, what's her perception of your whole career?
Did you not see the whole TikTok dance? That's all she does. She will not show me how to do these TikToks, and she's like, not until I get my own account. And I'm like, no, you're not getting your own account, but you know, I just try to sneak and see if I can do the dances for her.
So you don't get any cred unless it's on TikTok?
Yeah, like she doesn't, like, I think she realizes I'm trying too hard. Like that whole Grand Theft Auto thing, like she's like, this cannot be a good day.
But social media is full of TikTok dances. You got to see this.
Yeah, you know, like, I have fun, but knowing that my birthday, and also her birthday is coming up too. Like, we are both Leos, as you can see, we rocking the same jacket type of thing. You know, Leos run the world, and I have to give a shout out to Shannon. Like, Shannon on my Quality Comedy Series was the first comic to ever win get the most, the favorite comic vote five times in a row.
It's huge.
And no one has ever done it.
Yeah. We're almost out of time, but before we go to break, can you tell us what's coming up next?
What you got coming up?
Please.
Well, for me, I have shows coming up. I'm going to be out in Washington, D.C. and Maryland. I have some things going there.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you just never know where it's going to make you flow.
I totally, you know what, go down the road and open any door that you can.
That's
the way to do it. Quincy, you got anything coming up, sir?
Yeah, I just want to, you need to get them contracts signed. If you don't know where you better make sure you sign the contracts on, girl. No, I got, because I do the Norwegian cruise ships, so I got a couple of those that's coming up later on in the year, and just a couple of quick things, and obviously this shows.
Absolutely.
This is on my list.
For the next 6 weeks, baby.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Hey, we'll be right back with a little bit more Coast Comedy Live. Don't go anywhere. I'll see you in a couple minutes. Welcome back to Coast Comedy Live. Guys, I'm sitting here hanging out with my action figures, and I got to take a second to thank our sponsor, Toy Meister Toys and Games. Toy Meister has the largest toy selection on the East Coast, and they don't just sell, they'll buy your treasures as well. If your shelves, like mine, are looking a little crowded, can we get a round of applause for Toy Meister? Check them out, baby. They're on Bonnie Road in Virginia Beach. It's an excellent place to go shop for toys. And hey, guess what? Next Friday, at 7:30, we have an all-new episode of Coast Comedy Live featuring a whole lot more local comics from Hampton, Virginia. He's performed at the White House. Fred McKinnon joins the show. And from Matthews County, you've heard him on Sirius XM Radio and maybe a couple cruise ships. Lucas Bond takes the stage. Wow. And a huge thanks again to tonight's comics, Shannon Parker and Quincy Carr. Guys, we could not have done this whole show without you. Thank you so much. I think this has been a really successful first episode, huh? That's all for Coast Comedy Live today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chandler Nutley. We'll see you next week.